So I had a crazy thought yesterday. I had a really crazy thought. I don't know where this came from, but I had a weird thought that if adultery is supposed to be a sin, right? And it's in the Ten Commandments as one of the things that we should never ever do, then why did God choose to impregnate a married woman with his only begotten son, Jesus Christ? And I was thinking like, well, maybe in God's mind, he's like, well, I can do that. You know, I can do that because of who I am and because of what I am. The rest of y'all can't. And if that's the case, that's a very privileged way of thinking. Very, very privileged way of thinking. And I thought to myself, damn, maybe God is white. So like the host said, I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. I moved here back in 2016. And recently, over the summer, I actually went back to visit my family back in May. And I ran into some people that I hadn't seen in like many years. And they asked me where I've been, and I said Montana. And their response was, so how does it feel to be back in the States? Yeah, the Chicago public school system's not where it needs to be. Then I told them, like I said, I hadn't seen them in a long time, so they didn't know I was married. So I told them I was married, and I showed them a picture of my wife. And they looked at the picture, and they were like, huh. So, you couldn't find any black women in Montana that you're married to? And I said, no, motherfucker, I'm in Montana. There's only like 5 black women in the entire state. And I'm related to all 5 of them. I'm like, shit, my wife is Mexican. I was lucky to find a Mexican woman to get married to in Montana. Shit, like, do you know how many white women are in Montana? The factory that all white women are made at is in Montana. The factory's called Gianforte Laboratories. So my wife and I, we have 2 female Shih Tzus. They're 6 years old now, and I love them to death. Having 2 male, as a black man living in Montana, having 2 female Shih Tzus is a beautiful thing. Because when I take them out on walks, white women don't cross the street on me like they normally do. They normally just walk right up to me like, your dogs are cute, can I pet them? And I say yes. And I let them pet my dogs. And I give them about 30 to 35 seconds of happiness before I snatch their purses and run off with them. And that's how my 2 female Shih Tzus became my greatest financial investment of my life. This one particular day, I was taking them for a walk, and there was this vehicle parked in the distance. And I could see in the distance there was a white dude under the hood, and there was a white lady sitting on the passenger side. And then out of nowhere, I just heard a click. The white lady locked the doors to the vehicle as I was approaching. Now, just to paint a clear picture of what was going on, this vehicle in question was the most raggedy Chevy pickup truck I've ever seen in my life. It was old, it was rusty, it was ugly. All the letters were worn off. It didn't even say Chevrolet anymore, it said Olay. And I'm like, your boyfriend or husband is currently under the hood of this vehicle, which means it's not running right, and you still think I want to steal this piece of shit? So when I got closer to the vehicle, they saw my dogs and they had to change their heart. They're like, your dogs are cute, can we pet them? And I said, unlock your piece of shit truck first. And they did, they unlocked it. And I let them pet my dogs. And I gave them about 30 seconds of happiness. And if anybody's interested in the raggedy pickup truck, I got it outside for sale. Am I still good on time? All right. I noticed when I moved here that I was lied to. Before I moved out here, I came out here to visit because, like I said, all the 5 black women in my town are related to them, so I came out here to visit them. And we would go hang out in different spots, and every place we went, white dudes would just walk up to me for no reason and go, "Hey, you're not from around here, are you?" And I'm like, "However could you tell?" And they're like, "Hey, just to let you know, if you ever moved out here, you be beating white women off with a stick. White women here in business love black dudes." And like I said, that wasn't true because, they was like, "Yeah, you be beating them off with a stick." But until I met my wife, I was actually beating myself off with a stick. But I found out most white women in business do like black dudes. They just, I'm just not the type of black dude that they go for because I don't really frequent the super upscale, ritzy, hoity-toity places that the white women that like black dudes, frequent. The real fancy places, you know what I'm saying? Like Shooters. Daisy Dukes, you know what I'm saying? And let's not forget the ever so elegant Crystal Language. I'm gonna leave you with this. You guys have been amazing, first of all. Appreciate you laughing at that and stuff. I'm gonna leave you with this one last thing. Got a little confession to make. I got my nephew in trouble recently. Wasn't planning on it, it just happened. I have a nephew back in Chicago. He's 4 years old. He'll be 5 next month, and we're really close. We FaceTime each other every day. And the thing is, he has both his parents in his life, and they teach him things, and they have, conversations with him about life. But I'm his favorite uncle. So sometimes he'll come to me with things before he goes to his parents. And one of those times got him in trouble in pre-K. He was in school one day, and his teacher was like, "Okay, class, today we're gonna learn all about animals." And she pointed out my nephew and asked him if he wanted to assist her in teaching the class about animals, and he said yes. So she told him to stand up and come up to the front of the class where she was, and she's like, "Okay." She looked at my nephew, she was like, "Tell the class what sound a cow makes." And my nephew said, "Moo." And I just said, "Great, great. Now, tell the class what sound a goat makes." And my nephew said, "Bad." Teacher's like, "Excellent, excellent. Now, tell the class what sound a pig makes." And my nephew said, "License and registration, please."